My name is Dawbert old Cramer, and I'm a Master Chief Engineman qualified in submarines, and got orders to the USS Blackfin. Well, they had just came back from Australia, and they had a big kangaroo on the sail, and it was sitting alongside the pier, 312 feet long, jet black. And I says, boy, this is going to be fun. And it was. We used to go tour to the other islands, to they used to have fairs and stuff like that there. And every time we got a chance, we had a bunch of single guys on there. We voted to go to someplace. Traveled as much as we could. Well, on the Blackfin, I hadn't qualified yet, and I hadn't got rated, so I was what they call an oiler. And you got a throttleman and you got an oiler. And basically, the oiler is going around taking care of all the little stuff that the throttleman, he lights the engine off and gets it online and all that. The oiler, he takes the readings, starts the purifier, stuff like that. And upon diving, the oiler from one of the engine rooms will progress forward and take the trim manifold. And once they, through the trim manifold, they pump water in and out of the ship, forward and aft, to give the ship a neutral buoyancy so they can go through the water. Well, the Blackfin, we didn't do too much. We just went around the Hawaiian Islands. We went to different fairs that were held on the islands. Qualified on the Blackfin, went to nuclear power school, didn't have the math background that they needed, so they sent me back to the fleet to get more of a math background, and I ended up on the USS Sterlet. Well, I hung in there for 6 months a year, and then I went back to nuclear power school and couldn't make it again. So they decided to punish me and put me on a surface ship. They put me on the submarine tender. Well, I was third class then. I made throttleman, and I was only on there about 3 or 4 months, and they decided they'd send me back to nuclear power school again. And this time I made it through nuclear power school, went up to Idaho, and got up to Idaho, and between the mathematics and learning the systems and everything, I left again and went back down to San Diego to USS Sperry, which is a submarine tender. And I worked in the outside machine shop there, pulling antennas, masts, doing any kind of mechanical work that the boats needed done. The Sperry supported the submarines, with specific stuff like pulling periscopes apart, pulling a vacuum, you're working on the optics, and pulling antennas and everything like this, doing welding on the pressure hull, calibration of gauges, anything to keep the submarines going. Plus they had facilities for, they had a doctor facilities. They also had barbers. They had small stores and stuff like this where you could keep your sea bag up and get other things that you needed. I was on there about 6 months, and the USS Spinix needed a second-class engineman qualified, which I was. And I went down, met the XO, got a set of orders aboard, and left about 2 days later, headed for Pearl Harbor.